looking at a lot of past paper questions. So these are the types of questions you can expect in your prelim or final exam at the end of the year. So it's really, really good practice. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. We have a map. It says the map below shows the route from Pretoria to Durban and vice versa. Okay, the first question asks, write down the type of map that is displayed above. Who can tell me what kind of map we're looking at? It's a very common type of map that is asked in the final papers. Anybody got an answer for me? What kind of map are we looking at?
You could drop your answer in chat, or you could talk to us. We are open to both options.
There we go. We're getting some options. Yes, a strip map or strip route map. Okay, so let's, please guys know this. This is a very common map in the matric papers. Strip route map. Is anyone else that can't see the screen? Please let me know in the chat. Kia, can you see the screen?
Yes, 100%.
Are you maybe able to help Tashad see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so just a quick rundown on how strip route maps work, because it's a very different type of map. Oh, okay, you can see it now. Perfect. Is that each side of the map gives you distances. So if we need to follow the arrow, so as you can see on the side, the arrow is going up. So that means from Durban all the way up to Pretoria, if we're going in that direction, the distances on the right-hand side are the ones that we need to be focused on. So for example, if I wanted to know the distance from Durban to Harrismith, I start at the bottom on the right-hand side, start at Durban, and I go all the way to Harrismith. So from Durban to Harrismith, it is 289 kilometers. Okay, this strip route map shows you the full distance from Durban to Pretoria, and that is 557 kilometers. So that is how you read this kind of map. If you were going from Pretoria side to Durban, you follow the relevant arrow, which would be on the left-hand side. So you'll be looking this way. If you're going to Pretoria to, let's say, for example, Pietermaritzburg, you'll follow all the way until you hit Pietermaritzburg, which is in line with 488 kilometers. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown on how we use the distances on the side of the map. Okay, so there's generally distances on either side, and you just need to follow the correct direction. Okay. The next question. Choose the letter A, B, or C that does not apply to this type of chart. So option A, the chart is not drawn to scale. B, the roads are not displayed with straight lines. And C, the actual distances are displayed. So which one is not true about strip route maps? So not true. Is it A, B, or C? Any other options? It's a bit tricky, and it's the English that's getting us here. Okay, so based on the answers, let's just quickly help out here. The correct answer is B. The roads are not displayed with straight lines. That is not true because they are displayed with straight lines. But it's the English there, so we wanted to find the ones that's not true, and they're saying that it's not displayed with straight lines. So that is the not true one. Okay, a little bit of a tricky one. As you can see, we do have straight lines here. This is obviously not a real kind of map. It is not a straight road from Pretoria to Durban and vice versa. It is more like a summary of the journey. They also mention the different important national roads along the way. So the main road that you travel on is the N3. But if you go off at Bethlehem, for example, you will go down the N5. If you go into Ladysmith, you will then take the N11. Okay. Then let's have a look at question 3. Write down the total distance from Pietermaritzburg to Pretoria. From Pietermaritzburg to Pretoria. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a minute to quickly figure that out. The distance from Pietermaritzburg to Pretoria. Once you have your answer, drop them in the chat. Nice, well done. Okay, so we can tell, well, firstly, Pietermaritzburg is over here. Pretoria is right at the top. So we are going to be using the arrow on the side here. We know that from Durban, so from the bottom to Pretoria is 557. However, we're not starting at the bottom, we're starting at 69 kilometers. So we want to know what it is from this point to the top point. So to figure that out, you would say the 557 minus 69 kilometers, which gives you your 488 kilometers. We just need to minus 69 kilometers off of that because we're starting at Pietermaritzburg and not Durban. But I see most of you understood that quite nicely. Well done. Okay. Write down the national roads used to travel from Pretoria to Bethlehem. What national roads would you travel going from Pretoria to Bethlehem? Let me know in the chat. Okay, good. Okay, so from Pretoria, we're traveling down this road, which is the N3. And when we get off the N3, we go onto the N5 to get to Bethlehem. Okay. A person drives from Bergville towards the N3. Write down whether that person has to turn left or right to drive to Pietermaritzburg. A person drives from Bergville towards the N3. Write down whether that person has to turn left or right to drive to Pietermaritzburg. Okay, so I'm going to just scroll up a little bit. Bergville is over here. Just to repeat the question, a person drives from Bergville towards the N3. Write down whether that person has to turn left or right to get to Pietermaritzburg. Okay, so we have Bergville. They are driving towards the N3. Here's the N3. They need to get to Pietermaritzburg. Are they turning left or right? So if you're unsure, imagine that you are here, you're traveling, you've reached this T junction, hypothetically, and now you're going to be turning this way to get to Pietermaritzburg. You will be turning well done, Justice. You'll be turning right. So actually picture yourself going towards the N3 and you need to go that way, which is right. Okay, so guys, these are really the common type of questions you can get with strip route maps. Quite often they're going to ask you, what kind of map are you looking at? They're going to ask you something about the distances on either side to make sure that you can read the map properly. They'll also ask about what road you travel on, and they might ask you, are you turning left or right, or what towns will you pass along the way? Those kinds of questions. So it's literally the same questions over and over again. It might just be a different strip route map that you'll be looking at. But it looks like you guys handled that really well. So let's go into our next question. Okay, so I might need to zoom in here a little bit. So we've got a map. Looks like it comes off Google Maps, and we're going from Bloemfontein to Glen Rennan Rest Camp. Okay, so it says write down one national road that they traveled on when they travel via Senekal. So I'm going to zoom in here. So there was a journey. Here's the starting point, and they're going via Senekal, which is over here. So I don't know if you guys can read these numbers. Let me know if you're struggling to see. Cool, you could say the N1. So here's the N1, these first 2 points here. So they're going from Braamfisher Airport through via Senekal. Once they pass Senekal, they go onto the N5. I know it's a bit hard to see. So your answers there would be either the N1 or the N5. Okay, so again, a mapwork question where they're asking you to name the roads that you travel on. Okay, so this family is traveling to the Glen Rennan Rest Camp. It says their journey takes 3 hours and 2 minutes. They booked at the Glen Rennan Rest Camp at the Golden Gate National Park. They arrive at their accommodation at 13:05. Determine the time they left the airport. So we know what time they got to their accommodation. It took them 3 hours and 2 minutes to get there. So what time did they leave the airport to get to this accommodation? I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to figure that out. Well done, Dakalo. Okay, so the family arrived at 13:05. It took them 3 hours and 2 minutes. So I'm going to minus 3 hours and 2 minutes from my time. Okay, so let's quickly do the calculation, and then I'm going to show you how to do this on a calculator. I don't know if any of you really know this. Okay, it's quite a cool hack with your calculator. So doing our -5 minus 2 is 3, 0 minus 0 is 0. Then we have 3 minus 3 is 0, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So they must have left the airport at 3 minutes past 10 in the morning to get to their accommodation at 13:05. Okay, so now just another thing that you could use if you're not comfortable with doing the calculations like this, there is this cool button on your calculator. So if you have a look at your scientific calculator, if you look at the button number 8, if you look 2 buttons above it, so right above button 8, it says ENG. If you look above that one, it looks like, I'm going to draw the symbols. So 2 buttons above the button 8. Looks like a whole lot of commas on it. Okay, that is called the time button. And let me show you how this can work. So we've got our 2 times. You'll say 13, and then you press that time button. It'll come up with a little square next to the 13. Then you type in 05, you press the time button again. It gives you a little square. Then you say minus, say 3, press that time button again, you get a little square. 02, press the time button again, and you get a little square. And when you type that in your calculator, just like that, it gives you your answer. It looks like this. So it's a little bit of a different format, but you can see that it always goes hours, minutes, seconds. So it's 10 hours, 3 minutes, and 0 seconds. So it's 3 minutes past 10. It gives you the time in the calculator. Okay, just a fun fact. Don't know if you ever used this button before, but if you ever want to use it, you can use it to add time. So if you wanted to add 3 hours onto 5 minutes past 1, you can do that as well. You just put plus in the middle of those 2 times. Okay, I don't know if anyone tried that, if that blew your mind or not. Everyone's really quiet. Don't know if you've seen it before, but if all else fails, you can always use this button in the exam. Okay, when we do our Beat the Basics course, I'll go through some more tricks on time and the time button on your calculator. Okay, then, so this family is going from the Bloemfontein airport to the Glen Rennan camp. The family travels at an average speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Calculate the distance to the nearest kilometer from the airport to the Glen Rennan camp. You may use the formula speed is equal to distance over time. So whenever it comes to these types of formulas, always write down what you have. So we've got the speed, and we have the time, which is in the previous question. So this links to the previous question. So let's write down what we have. We have time, which is 3 hours and 2 minutes. We have speed, which is 100 kilometers per hour. As you can see, the formula that they've given you is the incorrect formula. You need to work out the distance. And it even says so in the question, calculate the distance. So generally, they are going to give you the wrong formula, but you need to know how to manipulate that formula. And it's going to happen quite often. So it's never a typo. They do generally give you the wrong formula. So they'll say work out distance, but then give you the speed formula. Okay, so we should know that distance is going to be speed times time. So I'm going to give you guys a quick minute to work out the distance for me, please. Once you have the answer, let me know. No worries, Oratile. Okay, I'm just checking these answers. Okay, so Justice, you're a lot closer with your first option. So rounding with the second one. Ben, nice. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so rounding. So we have our speed, put it into our formula, and then time before we can actually substitute time into the formula. We need to first convert everything to hours. Time always needs to be in hours. So we have 3 full hours, plus we have 2 minutes. So we need to convert those 2 minutes to hours. So to do that, we divide by 60. So that gives us 3 hours plus, and if we convert the 2 minutes to hours, it gives you 0,0333. So try keep as many decimal places as possible. So that means in our format, it's going to be 3,0333 hours. So now I substitute that into my formula. So it's 100 times by 3,0333. And you get an answer of 303,33 hours. They've asked you to calculate the distance to the nearest kilometer. So that means we are looking at the 3 next to, just before the decimal point. So is it closer to 303 or 304 kilometers? We look to the right, it is a 3, so that means it is closer to 303 kilometers. Okay, but so rounding is what let us down with some of your answers, but it looks like for the most part, everyone remembered to convert those minutes to hours because that's quite a common error. So well done. Okay, let's have a look at another map. Okay. So we're looking at a map of Qatar. They have given us some compass directions. There's a scale there. They've told us the different roads in this map. And we can see some cities and capitals. So the first question says, name the capital of Bahrain as shown on the map. Capital of Bahrain. So it's just a simple read of the map question. What do you guys see? Okay, cool. We're all getting it. So Bahrain is over here in the map. And there is the capital, Manama. Okay, these are always the best questions to get in your final. You can thank your lucky stars if you get them. Just reading off the map. Which area lies southwest of Doha? Southwest of Doha. Okay, so it's important to look at the compass. Southwest of Doha. So we need to find Doha, which is over here. I need to zoom in to see that name. Which area or town lies southwest of Doha? Okay, so it's also important to look at the dots of the places. Okay, so when in doubt, we're going to draw our compass on top of the point of Doha. So north, east, south, west. Now, a lot of you said this little town over here, but that is directly south. If you look at the point of it, it is over here. So if we look southwest, it is actually, I think it's Salwa. Well, it's not exactly straight. Okay, but just to iterate, I'm just going to show you over here. The dot for Amsaid is over there, which is directly south. So we're looking at southwest. Okay, so Asalwa is your answer. Okay, so look at the actual dots, the points of the towns. Okay, then the last question. This is a nice, easy map work question. Believe it or not, this came from a prelim from last year. What type of scale has been given? What type of scale has been given? Okay, a scale over here definitely does not look like a ratio or number scale. So it is 100% a bar scale. Okay, nice. Well done. Let's look at question 4. So still looking at the same region in the world. The 2022 FIFA Soccer World Cup is being hosted in Qatar. Table 1 below shows the map and the capacity of the 8 stadiums where the matches will be played. The stadiums are all within 40 miles of each other. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a map. They show you where all the stadiums are. We've got a scale and the capacity for each stadium. So the first question, name the stadium with the 3rd largest seating capacity. Name the stadium with the 3rd largest seating capacity. Oh, that was quick. Okay, cool. Everyone got that. The Khalifa. Cool. Determine the total capacity of all the stadiums. Determine the total capacity. So to work out the total, we're going to need to go and add all the capacities up together. And Ben is on it. Remember, because it is for 2 marks, you'll need to show working out. You don't need to do it in the chat, but just so you know, when you're doing your working out. Okay, cool. We all got it correct. Okay, and another scale question. Identify the type of scale shown on the map. What kind of scale have we been shown this time? Okay, well done. So our scale is over here on the map, and it is indeed a number scale. Okay, write the number 6,436,000 in words. And I kind of gave you a clue there by saying it out loud. Oh, Ben, you're on fire tonight. Normally, but extra tonight. Okay, anyone else got an answer? Okay, good. So for those of you that have answered in the chat, spelling is great. Okay, and yes, it is possible to get this in your end of year exam. I've seen it being asked before, and this does come from a prelim from last year. So it is important to know how to write numbers out in words. 6,400,000 and 36,000. Okay, so spelling is not that important, but try to get it as close as possible. Okay. Nice, easy 2 marks. All right, now a conversion. So you see conversions can pop in at any point in any kind of chapter. We're looking at a map work kind of question, and now they've thrown in a conversion. It says, question 5, the stadiums are approximately 40 miles from each other. Determine the approximate distance between the stadiums in kilometers if 1 mile is equal to 1,609 kilometers. I'm going to ask you guys to quickly do that conversion for me. The race is on. Oratile and Ben and Amo. Are we forgetting the comma in our calculations? Are we getting such big numbers for our answers? There we go, Justice. Okay, so that was a really nice conversion because you have your distance in miles, and they told you that 1 mile is equal to 1,609 kilometers. So if we know what 1 is equal to, all we have to do is just times by 40 to see what 40 is equal to. Okay, so we say 40 times by 1,609, which gives you 64,36 kilometers. Okay, so for those of you that didn't get a comma in there, just check where you went wrong. Okay, and that was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 marks in a real prelim paper from last year. That's literally just reading off of this map or general knowledge type questions. Okay, so you didn't really have to study for any of these types of questions. So that's why it's really important to practice map work questions, because you don't know what they're going to ask you. Okay, let's have a look at another map work question. So Mr. Peters traveled from Beaufort West to Johannesburg to deliver boxes of seed. On his way back home, he will visit his cousin. Okay, so all we need to know is that he's going from Beaufort West to Johannesburg. I might have to zoom in and out of this map to see everything clearly. So we have a map of South Africa. Okay, we can see a lot of the main towns in this map. So just quickly, whenever you are given a map, just look for the places that they've mentioned in the question. So Beaufort West, just so we know, is at the bottom here in the Western Cape, and he's going to Johannesburg, which is up here. All right, so now let's look at the questions. Oh, look at this. Isn't this quite a popular question? Name the type of scale used in the map. So let's look for the scale, and please let me know what kind of scale you see on this map. Good, bar scale. So have you noticed, like almost every paper has asked, what kind of scale are you looking at? So it's really important to know the difference between the two, but you guys have no problem with that. So guaranteed 2 marks for you. Okay, write down 3 countries neighboring South Africa. So any 3, write down 3 countries neighboring South Africa. Any 3. Namibia is 1, yes. Mozambique, Lesotho, yes, that also counts. Botswana. And the only other option I haven't seen yet is, oh no, there's 2 that still haven't been mentioned. Anyone else want to try? Which neighboring countries have we not mentioned yet? Good. Swaziland is 1, and Zimbabwe. Good. Okay, so the neighboring countries, we've got Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Swaziland, and Lesotho. So any of those 3 would get you 3 marks. Okay, well done. Name the national road. Okay, so another question that's been asked over and over again, naming the road. Name the national road that Mr. Peters can use to travel from Beaufort West to Johannesburg via Kimberley. So that's the important part to take note of. So from Beaufort West to Johannesburg, but they're going to go via Kimberley. I'm going to zoom into the map now so we can see, hopefully see the road. Yeah, we should be able to see it. Okay, so we're going from Beaufort West to Johannesburg, and they're going via Kimberley. So I'm going to let you just figure that out quickly. Which way is Kimberley? And what road is it? Okay, that's fine. You can check the rest of the lesson on YouTube when the recording comes out. Hope all is okay, Jashad. Okay, I see we're all writing the N12 as our answer, which is correct. Kimberley is over here, so we follow the routes this way, and it is the N12 if we go that way. The other option is that they could have gone this way on their trip, and that would have been the N1, and that goes via Bloemfontein. Okay, just as an added extra. Okay, nice guys, well done. Write down the general direction from Beaufort West to Johannesburg. So remember, whenever you're looking at directions, the key word is from. Where are you starting from? So the general direction from Beaufort West to Johannesburg. They've given us a compass direction here. We can't always assume up is north. However, in this case, we can. North is going up. So in what general direction? From Beaufort West to Johannesburg. From Beaufort West to Johannesburg. Okay, and if this still is a bit, or if you are still unsure about these types of things, always draw your compass on the point that you're starting from. Remember, wherever the word from is, that's where you're starting. So we're starting from Beaufort West. Draw your little compass. Oh, wrote that wrong. Okay, and Joburg is in a northeast direction. And most of you, well, all of you got that. Well done. So directions, you guys have got down to a T. All right. Now this one isn't related to the map necessarily. So let's move down. All right. So the fuel tank that Mr. Peter's car had, the fuel tank of Mr. Peter's car has a capacity of 80 liters. So it can hold 80 liters of petrol. He claims that it will cost him 4% more if he fills his car inland instead of at the coast. Then you've got a summary of the fuel cost. So inland, it costs 21 Rand 96 cents per liter. And coastal is 21 Rand and 24 cents per liter. Let me just include that there. So per liter. Verify with calculations whether his claim is valid. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to try figure this out. But my clue to you is that there is a formula that we can use, and we have mentioned in previous lessons, to work out the percentage difference. And we use the word new and old in that formula. Has anyone perhaps got an answer? So we want to figure out the percentage difference between these two prices. Okay, so like I've said in previous lessons, whenever we're trying to work out the percentage increase, a percentage decrease, percentage difference, percentage profit, percentage loss, we can use this formula. So whenever we're working out a change in percentage, we can use this formula. And let's see, Ben. It's not Ben, sorry, Oratile. It's close. I don't know if that was a typo. Okay, so we take the higher price as our new price. So 21,96 minus the cheaper price over the cheaper price. And we times by 100 because we want our answer to be in percentage form. I just want to check the chat here. Yes, Marcia. Good. That's the answer I'm looking for. So once you work that out, you get an answer of 3,389, but percentages we normally round to 2 decimal places, so that becomes, oh, sorry, did I look at the wrong decimal there? Just let me check. Three comma 39. Sorry, Marcia. Okay, do we have any questions with this one? Was it okay? Does it ring a bell doing this formula? Okay, so whenever there is a percentage that we need to work out, a percentage change of some sort, we can use this formula without a doubt. Okay, how do you guys feel about the mapwork questions that we've had tonight? Do you feel confident in doing mapwork in your end of year exam as well as your prelims? These all come from past papers, so they are actual questions that you could possibly get in the end of year. And as you can see, I've taken a few from the different provinces and from different years, and it's the same questions being asked over and over again. You had to name roads, look for roads. They ask you something about the map, like what's next to that. They ask you compass directions. What kind of scale has been given? Thank you, Justice, keeping me on my toes there. I forgot that part. It says verify with calculations whether his claim is valid. So we've worked out that it was 3,39%. He claimed that it cost him more than 4%. So was his claim valid or not? Okay, his claim was invalid or incorrect. That is actually very, very important. Well done, Justice, for reminding me.